When the conversation touches on the matter of cars, Edward realizes Anthony is the guy that ran him off the road, but Anthony denies it and triggers an argument. The other guests quickly cut it off, making Anthony offer a very fake apology. After dinner, the piece is interrupted when a strange voice coming from a speaker proceeds to name all the guests to accuse them of murder, even mentioning the name of their victims. All the guests are offended by this and demand an explanation, so Thomas takes them to the room Vera saw earlier and reveals this had been a recording. At that moment, the voice accuses the staff members of murder as well, and Thomas has to go check on Ethel because she's having a panic attack that makes her pass out. While Thomas takes Ethel to her room so Edward can check on her, Anthony freaks out and grabs William to demand answers since supposedly he was close friends with the Owens. William has not choice but to confess he's a detective and not a businessman. Edward prepares a mild medicine to help Ethel sleep, and after he leaves, Ethel freaks out about having been discovered, but Thomas tells her to keep quiet. A moment later, everyone gets together to discuss what happened and Thomas explains the Owens left him instructions to play the record after dinner, but he had no idea of its contents. Thomas wouldn't have played it if he had known and explains that he and his wife didn't kill anyone, but in a flashback, it's shown he did use a pillow to kill their previous employer while Ethel watched. Anthony and Emily deny knowing what the recording was talking about, and Edward explains the name mentioned by the recording was a surgical patient whose procedure got the usual complications and didn't survive. John says his supposed victim was just a soldier that died in the war, and Lawrence explains he gave the death penalty to a criminal that everyone thought innocent but he had access to extra evidence as a judge. William's man drowned in his own puke while in jail, and Vera worked as a governess for a little kid that sneaked off and drowned in the sea when he wasn't supposed to swim. All these were clearly accidents, but Philip doesn't deny his own case and admits he did kill 21 men in Africa. Everyone else calls him a monster, but Philip points out he was on a job and wasn't any different from regular soldiers. This prompts Anthony to suddenly remember the names. They were two kids that were playing in the dark and he accidentally ran over them with his car. However, in his memory, it's clear that it was daytime and he was just driving like a maniac. After telling his story,